What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another video, and today I have a very special video for you. So this video is really going to be talking about, it's actually one of our mentorship videos. This mentorship video actually broke down the Corporate Transparency Act, why it's so important, why you should or shouldn't dissolve your LLCs, why you should get rid of them, any of those sorts. So I want you to really take heed to the information. This is something that, you can obviously Google, you can obviously take care of, but I wanted to break it down on a more digestible level, and I even brought up the document for you as well. So I want you to take care of that. Watch this video. It's not very long. It's one of the videos from our courses, but I wanted to make sure that you all got the information first. All right, y'all. See you in there. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Corporate Transparency Act of 2024. Okay. So this Corporate Transparency Act pretty much enacted in Congress in 2021. The CTA requires many companies formed or operating in the United States to pretty much report information about their beneficial ownership to the FinCEN, which is to the Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, aka FinCEN, right? Which will store this sensitive information in a secure, confidential database. So in a nutshell, the CTA is requiring you to report all beneficial ownership to FinCEN, okay? Which means that usually when it comes to LLCs, they say, okay, well, it's fine. We'll just separate your entity from your personal. But in this case, because of all of the money laundering that's been going on and people masking their corporations, they're pretty much saying that we need to pretty much report to them, right? Here, this pretty much strengthens the anti-money laundering or / countering the anti-money laundering situation that's going on in the United States. So I'm going to go to the actual FinCEN website and go to the Small Entity Compliance Guide, because this is the guide that explains everything about the Corporate Transparency Act in detail. So if you want to check it out, I'll definitely put it in the button below, link below this video. So they're pretty much saying that this is required and it's not in effect until January 1st, 2024. Okay. Depending on when you're watching this video. This is super important because, and pretty much you need to get all these things in before January 21st. Now, the key thing here is if you get an LLC, it will last you until January 1st, 2025. Now, after 2025, you must either decide to report, keep your LLC and report everything, or transfer to a business trust. And we're going to talk about who is the beneficial owner of my company. Then does my company have to report its company applicants, which is the people that are a part of it? And then chapter 4 is what specific information does my company need to report, which we definitely need to break that down. Number 5 is when and how should my company file its initial beneficial ownership report? And then number 6 is what if there are changes to or inaccuracies in reported information? So pretty much what if there's inaccuracies or changes that need to be reported or that happened on my report? Do I need to pretty much report those changes, right? So FinCEN is publishing this Small Entity Compliance Guide to help small entities comply with the requirements of the beneficial ownership information reporting rule. When do I actually need to report or file this information? Reports need to be accepted, like I said, January 1st, 2024. Okay. Reporting companies created or registered to business before 2024 will have additional time until January 1st, 2025 to file for the initial BOI report. Okay. So that's super important. If you create a LLC before 2024, your LLCs will last until 2025. Let's talk about, is my company a reporting company? This infographic is super important. So under what laws was the company created or formed? Okay, if it's under the U.S. laws, including laws of the states and Indian tribes, then you have to ask yourself this question: is the company a corporation? Yes or no? If it is, then you may be a domestic reporting company, right? If not, then you ask yourself this question: is this company a limited liability company? Next question: if it's not an LLC and it's not a corporation, was the company created by the filing of a document with the Secretary of State or any similar office under the law of state or Indian tribe? Pretty much, was it filed in the Secretary of State website? Yes or no? If it is, then you have to report. If not, then you don't have to report the company. Now, so like this diagram is very, very simple for you to understand. Pretty much, if you have a corporation, you file. If you have an LLC, you file. If you filed it with the Secretary of State, you file, right? If you don't do these 3 things, then you do not file. So it's very, very simple. It's not hard. There are 23 exemptions to this if you're in the United States. Okay. So I want you to read over this, but I'm going to break this down in a second, right? Pretty much, if you're a securities reporting issuer, if you're a governmental authority, if you're a bank or credit union, if you're a depository institution holding company, if you're a money services business, if you're a broker or dealer in securities, if you're a securities exchange or clearing agency, if you're other Exchange Act registered entity, if you're an investment company or investment advisor, a venture capitalist, or which is a VC, an insurance company, if you're a state licensed insurance producer, if you're a Commodity Exchange Act registered entity, if you're an accounting firm, public utility, financial marketing utility, pooled investment vehicle, which is just a private equity fund, a tax exempt entity assisting a tax exempt entity, a large operation company, which is like a Elon Musk or Amazon or, you know, those huge companies. If you're a subsidiary of certain exempt entities or pretty much an inactive entity, you don't have to report. That's what they're saying. These are like special rules, special entities that are exempt from reporting everything. So eventually we're going to start being in this pooled investment vehicle because we want to become a private entity, right? And because when you're a private equity fund business or company, right? And if you do this, then this will kill all that. So moving on, what happens if my company does not report the BOI in the required time frame? Okay, this goes back to what I was saying before. I'm going to start from the second paragraph. The first paragraph just states that you have 90 days deadline to do the original report, but I'm going to start on the second. So this is pretty much what this paragraph states. Everything else is emphasizing more of what I already said. So you have to do it within 90 days of 2024 if you did not file. If you file after 2025. So now let's talk about who is a beneficial owner of my company. All right. If your company is a reporting company, your next step is to identify its beneficial owners. A beneficial owner is any individual who directly or indirectly exercises substantial control over a reporting company or owns or control at least 25% of the ownership interest of the reporting company. So pretty much if you're a beneficial owner is a person who owns the company or at least owns 25% of the company. Let's scroll down to, does my company have to report it? Right. And so let's start here. Is my company required to report its company applicants? Not all reporting companies are required to report their applicants to FinCEN. A reporting company is required to report its company applicants if it's either a domestic reporting company or a foreign reporting company first registered when it's initially registered in the United States. So what that means is if you registered in the United States first and then you moved to foreign, you still have to report it. If you started in the United States and stayed in the United States, you have to report it, right? A reporting company is not required to report its company applicants if it's either a domestic company or a foreign company. So pretty much this is a diagram of what it said. Domestic, foreign, if it's created or registered on or after January 2024, you are required. If it's before January 2024, then you are not required.